Budgeting. Ooh. A budget is a plan for managing money wisely. And the biggest tip I can give you is don't spend more money than you have coming in. And credit cards are a trap because you have to pay them back and there's lots of interest. So the best way to manage your money is to not spend more money than you have coming in. Budgets can be split into two sections: your income, so the money coming in, and your expenses, the money going out. Expenses, you can have fixed expenses, so rent, loan repayments, and bills. And you can have discretionary expenses, which is movies, cafes, clothes. The difference between the two are fixed expenses is you know how much. The rent is the same amount every week. Discretionary expenses is a bit more fluid. You might buy clothes this week and then for the next month not buy clothes. You might go to a cafe this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, and then the next weekend only go on a Saturday. Who knows? It's a lot more fluid, but so they're discretionary expenses. They're kind of up to your choice and you managing your budget. When trying to figure out a personal budget, try to make it weekly, fortnightly, or monthly. And the thing that makes the most sense is however often you are paid. If you were in a job where you get paid weekly, then you should set up your budget to be weekly. If you get paid fortnightly, then set your budget up to be fortnightly. The advantage of a budget is that you will always have enough money to set aside to cover bills that only pop up annually, like car rego, or quarterly, like electricity and gas and water. If you live in the moment all the time, when your bill pops up, you'll be one of those people that say, oh, I can't this week, I've got to pay my car rego. If you make a budget, that money is always going to be to the side for that, and therefore you never have to miss out on 1 week because of a bill that's popped up. You've planned for it. You've budgeted for it. Income. I'm a teacher. I get paid fortnightly. That is my income. Expenses. Well, I have a car and I have a car loan, so I've got to pay that off, and the loan repayments are monthly. The car rego is annually. Petrol is weekly, and getting the car serviced is biannually, so once every 6 months. Also, if you get insurance, car insurance, that's going to be a thing you need to pay off every year as well. I've got a house, so mortgage, so that's monthly. House rates, if you own a house, you pay land rates in the ACT, and those are quarterly. My utilities, so electricity, gas, and water, they are all quarterly. My phone, I've got a mobile phone, I have home internet, so that's monthly. Credit card, paying back is monthly. I fell in a trap. A teacher registration, all teachers are registered. Yeah, you've got to pay money to do that, and that happens once a year. And then there's the other stuff that I haven't mentioned, which is super important. Everything before the other are fixed bills, fixed expenses. The other is my discretionary, which is food, which I buy weekly, and entertainment, and that's mostly right now when I can. So I have lots of fixed expenses, which I need to be paying all the time. And there are my discretionary expenses, which is mostly food, so I can eat and not die. And that is budgeting, basically. What I do is, because I get paid fortnightly, I figure out, if my loan is a certain amount of dollars per month, we'll divide that by 2 to get numbers per fortnight. If my rego is annually, we divide it by 26 to get it what it would be per fortnight. So every fortnight I put a little bit aside for my loan, a little bit aside for my rego, a little bit for my mortgage and house rates, electricity. Most of my pay all filters into my bills that I've budgeted for. And then whatever's left over, that's what I get to spend on food, and that's what I get to spend on going to the movies and buying books and buying video games. Without a budget, this fixed bills would be a nightmare. Avoid the nightmare. Make a budget.